Alrighty guys, here we go. Good morning y'all. How you doing? Time to show what we got. I got a free line right there is the clutch line. That's about the last thing I'm working on is the clutch. Brakes are all on. Just start from the back and work forward. The wing is off a 2013 Genesis Coupe. Tail lights are off a Yamaha R3 sport bike. They only take one of them. I use two of them. There's a turn signal for each left and right on both sides, but I'm just going to use the left on this side and the right on that side. I did a full custom exhaust with my own 3-to-1 merge collector. I cut apart 3 exhaust tips to make it. It's got a 2.5-inch stainless bros resonator, aka muffler. I got a Miata rotor on the rear with an AFCO caliper mounted. Miata CV axles, Polaris bearing carriers, Miata bearings and hubs. I got 5/8 heim joints all around. The smallest heim joint I have is 5/8. DID chain for high horsepower applications, which we have. Now on to the motor, which is a 2001 Fz1 motor. Basically an R1 motor that's detuned by like 10 horsepower. Got a 7.5 gallon fuel tank that I had to mount my own fuel sender to so I can read how much fuel is in the tank without opening it. In my own battery box. We'll skip over the suspension for now. Got an inline hydro with a sensor for brake on there, so it knows when I'm braking. I have the same sensor on my clutch, so it knows when I'm clutching. I use the Willwood pedal box and all Willwood master cylinders. Made my own reservoir. Got it all lined out yesterday. The front master just goes to this T up here, which is hooked up underneath there, all nice and slick like. Goes to each caliper. In the front, the calipers are sitting on Miata spindles, Miata rotors, basically just the whole Miata front end past my A-arm. Full custom A-arm with geometry that pushes it forward 3 inches. I made my own headlight housings. Just a piece of aluminum pipe that I lathed out, turned down to fit in with set screws, and then I used a gimbal on the bottom for like a camera mount. That way they're adjustable. I can unlock them and turn them whichever way I want. Did my own A-arm, my own trailing arm suspension. I got a harness in this morning. Sorry for that. I ended up getting a billet steering wheel from Flash Power. It's a very nice steering wheel. I would recommend them. I'm not sponsored by anything, but I do recommend them because $130 gets you one of these things, and they're super nice. You will need an adapter. And then this MPI quick release, or a quick release of your choice, but this is a very nice, cheap one, fairly cheap compared to what you would need for the NRG The NRG hub requires you to buy a weld-on hub for them, and that hub alone is $100, and then you're paying about $100 to $200 for the quick release, so you'll be into that $300 to $200 minimum. This whole setup here, I think, was I think this MPI quick release is like 80 bucks, and then this adapter plate I think is like $20, so $100 there. Then you got the steering wheel. I guess we're gonna go on to the suspension now. This is the cantilever cart. You guys seen it, you guys know about it. She actuates great, works great. I've been bouncing up and down on it. I just haven't drove it yet. Haven't been able to hit the road on her. But she's fairly smooth. It's got adjustability for spring tension. It's got dampening, preload, just a regular coilover, you know, fairly standard. So the front, I ended up, this is the first side I did, the front side. I had to do a lot more work on this side after finding what I found, and I'll tell you about that in here in a minute. But this piece of steel right here around this nut was just a blank. Sorry about that, I'm at work. This blank right here had to get turned down to match the internal hub of a Raptor. So there's a Raptor spindle. This nut right here, this bolt is a Raptor spindle. And I made a sleeve, and it actually gets pressed up in there. So I could press the spindle out and press a new one if it ever got damaged, but I highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. So I turn this core down, turn this core down, turn that internal core down to fit the spindle. So you can see part of the spindle right there. It all locks down on there. And then when I went to go make the back side, I ended up scrolling past something. Sorry about that. I scrolled past something on Amazon, and these is basically the exact same thing. It comes with this sleeve, 2 roller bearings, this cap, nut, the spindle, and they're weld in. So I just bought 2 of those. They're 50 bucks a pop, and just used those on the rear, and it worked out pretty great. And we got a $50 digital dash off Amazon. It's been working pretty good. The RPMs are fairly consistent on it. So the only thing we're on right now is the clutch cover. The clutch was stuck from sitting so long, and the last thing I had to do last night was pop the clutch open and get it freed up, which I did. All the plates and steels look great, but of course I already knew it was kind of going to happen. Whenever I did it, the gasket ripped, the gasket shot. That's going to be here in a couple days, so that's the one thing holding me back right now, guys. I'm just as excited as everybody else is to see this thing go. Alright, that's it for me now. You guys have a good Saturday.